Sony aims to sell a lot of PS5s, PlayStation has set yet another record, Hermen Hulst talks about their upcoming live service games, and EA continues patching Star Wars Jedi Survivor. All that and more in today's PlayStation news. Let's get to them. After debuting the Twisted Metal TV series trailer last week, Sony is ready to show another of their upcoming PlayStation productions as the Gran Turismo movie trailer hits tomorrow. The movie launches in August, telling the story of Jan Mardenborough, a gamer who became a real driver after winning a Gran Turismo competition. It stars Archie Madekwe, David Harbour, Orlando Bloom, and more, directed by Neil Blomkamp. Critics got to watch this trailer last week at CinemaCon and they thought it was really good, so I think this one has the potential to be a success in theaters like The Last of Us was on TV. What do you think? Raise to the comments to let us know your thoughts. Do you know what else is thought to be really good? Horizon Burning Shores. It has been praised as a visual masterclass according to the Digital Foundry and Eurogamer performance review. Burning Shores offers 3 rendering modes with resolution at native 4K 30fps, balance at 40fps with checkerboard 4K, and performance with 1800p and 60fps. It also supports VRR with 60 to 80fps. Digital Foundry notes that it's simply an excellent performer in every regard, praising its environments, lighting, weather, and cloud rendering tech. The new area is about a third of the main campaign and is only available on PS5. It raises a graphical ceiling for a game that already looked really good while being a cross-gen project. Raising the ceiling is exactly what Sony is doing for their PS5 forecast in the next fiscal year, looking to ship 25 million consoles, which would be a record for the brand, only matched by the original PlayStation with 22.6 million in their fiscal year 98. For additional comparison, PS2's highest shipment was 22 million in fiscal year 02, PS3 had 14.4 million in 2010, and PS4 had 20 million in 2016. All of this is part of Sony's financial results for the last quarter, which saw 6.3 million PS5 sold, pushing the console to 38.3 million shipped to date. 19.1 million PS5s were sold in the current fiscal year alone, breaking Sony's forecast of 19 million, which was brought up by a million after strong Q3 results. That also sent the PS5 above the PS4 in sales when time aligned, as covered in a previous video. Overall console sales from PS4 and PS5 generated a record $8.29 billion. As a result of PS5 sales, dollar-based third-party game sales in February and March have exceeded results when compared to the same months in the previous fiscal year, with PlayStation fans spending $6.37 billion across digital and physical games. They didn't update on first-party games other than telling how successful was God of War Ragnarok in regards to Game Awards, but they did confirm Spider-Man 2 again for this fall. PS5 sales also brought up the monthly active users by 2.3 million accounts compared to March last year. The same can be said for PS Plus, which increased by 1 million to 47.4 million, which is their usual number. Sony's fiscal results also indicate they may acquire more companies as they have raised their budget by 20% in comparison to the previous fiscal year. However, this includes Bungie, so likely has to do with additional expenses on Destiny development or Bungie's new project. And remember, when they talk about acquisitions in this report, it's a Sony group, so acquisitions also involve their other businesses, not only PlayStation. However, not everything from Sony's fiscal result is good news, as a new analysis from Derek Strickland at Twigtown shows that $70 games might be hurting unit sales. Derek notes that despite the company's game revenue being high with $6.36 billion, up 2.5% from fiscal year 21, their total of games sold decreased by over 12% compared to the previous fiscal year, and by 22% when compared to fiscal year 20. That's when the PS5 launched and the $70 price tag was introduced by some publishers, with many adopting it down the line, and some still to come. Again, even though they are selling fewer units, revenue is high due to the new generation tax, plus it's likely that some fans are spending more. And we also have to consider there's been the post-recession since the pandemic. I recommend you check the rest of Derek's analysis with the link in the description. The latest PS5 sales results also made Sony beat a new record in regard to home consoles sold, with the company becoming the first to reach 500 million when counting PS1 through PS5 only. You may remember they launched a PS4 console celebrating 500 million consoles sold in 2018, but that number included PSP and PS Vita sales. Again, this only counts home consoles, as counting handhelds is a different story, with Nintendo being the top one given all their successful portable consoles. Next, we have talked several times about Sony's goals of creating 12 live service games by their fiscal year March 2026, and with the fatigue they have brought recently, with many being shut down, or the response to Suicide Squad, you wonder if Sony is on the right path. PlayStation Studios boss Hermen Hulst gave an interview about this with GameIndustry.biz, where he said they understand the competitive environment, the investment live service games require from players, and they want to deliver the highest quality games. He knows there is a risk when talking about live service in generic terms, as if it's a single genre or business model, but PlayStation Studios is making a variety of games referred to as live services, targeting different genres, release schedules, and different scales for different audiences. This all means they are not making every game a Fortnite or Destiny. As an example, one game they consider to be a games as a service is MLB The Show, as shown in a presentation from 2022. Sony recently announced the acquisition of Fireworks Studios, said to be working on a multiplayer live service as well. Speaking of acquisitions, Microsoft and Activision may be furious about the UK CMA decision of blocking their merger, but there's a new market that has given their blessing. Ukraine has become the 7th country in approving the merger, following South Africa, Japan, Chile, Brazil, Saudi Arabia, and Serbia. Despite that, everything depends on the last 3, with both FTC and UK CMA pressuring to block, and the European Commission giving the result by the end of this month. A new development since last week is that the UK CMA is apparently blocking the Microsoft Activision merger for the next 10 years. The CMA's over 400-page document filed as the final decision last week was recapped at the Resetera forums, and it says that as established in sections 82 or 84 of the Acquisitions Act, their normal practice would be to prevent a merger between parties for the next 10 years. Microsoft and Activision have started the process to appeal to the UK CMA, as we covered in the previous video. Moving on, there hasn't been much news about Assassin's Creed Mirage, with previous rumors that the game moved to 2024, but later denied by Insider Gaming, saying their sources confirmed the game for a release between August and September this year. According to the latest issue of French magazine Jeux Vidéo, the title will now be the first one to be part of Ubisoft's new Assassin's Creed Infinity platform. Infinity has been presented as a hub that was going to have many Assassin's Creed games, where the first one was going to be Red in fall 2024, followed by Hexa and a multiplayer project. It's unclear why Ubisoft would push forward a platform, but maybe they want to give it a test with a smaller game. The Mortal Kombat 12 reveal might be getting closer as per a new NetherRealm video posted today. In the video, several studio members thank fans for supporting the franchise for 30 years, ending with boss Ed Boon teasing they are not done yet. A grain of sand falls from an hourglass and explodes, which apparently has links to the story of the previous Mortal Kombat 11 and a rumored reboot for the series. The sequel to the fighting game is believed to appear at a rumored PlayStation showcase happening by the end of this month or early June, with Sony getting the marketing rights for the game. We'll know for sure in the coming weeks. EA and Respawn continue trying to fix Star Wars Jedi Survivor, which despite great reviews by critics, it got torn apart by user reviews on Metacritic and Steam over a variety of bugs and glitches. They will be deploying a new fix tomorrow for all platforms, which promises to fix multiple crashes, performance improvements, rendering issues, and a lot more. Maybe they could have launched on May 4th, Star Wars Day and all that, and avoid all the trouble. Anyway, bugs and all, the game managed to top UK retail charts for the last week, being the second biggest launch in the region behind Hogwarts Legacy, and PS5 taking 82% of total sales. But it was short by 35% in beating its predecessor Jedi Fallen Order, but when you consider it launched costing 10 more and for new gen only, maybe it's not that bad. Let's stick with Respawn, as a studio boss Vince Zampella has said he would love to see Titanfall 3 happen. That was as part of an interview with website Barons, where he commented that despite he would love to see a sequel, there are no exact dedicated plans for that. He spun a positive on it, saying that it has to be the right thing because it's such a beloved franchise for the fans and for them, so if it's not the right moment in time or the right idea, then it just doesn't make sense. While EA cancelled Titanfall Legends set to mix elements from Apex Legends and Titanfall, Zampella said it was not Titanfall 3, simply because in a lot of people's minds Titanfall 3 would have to be a standalone game with its own single player and multiplayer modes, but Titanfall Legends was not that. And those are the PlayStation stories for today. Come back on Wednesday for a new video, but remember to share your thoughts on any of this news in the comments below, like or dislike to let me know your feedback, check out other videos you may enjoy while you're here, and consider subscribing for more on PlayStation. Thank you so much for watching, my name is Joseph, this is Hype for Games, and let's get hype!